you reviewing? What you reviewing?
Welcome back to What You're Reviewing. I'm Mint Salad, and I'm reviewing the Backatown album by Trombone Shorty. My first exposure to this was actually in my 8th grade jazz band. My jazz band teacher was like, hey, go listen to some jazz music to learn better how to do jazz. And so I looked up the good old Spotify and looked up trombone, and Trombone Shorty with the greatest SEO ever got my attention, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna listen to Backatown. This is a 2010 album. So if you don't know who Trombone Shorty is, he's from New Orleans. He's been playing trombone since he was 2. It's pretty inspiring dude. So now I'm gonna go over his first album. The first song in this album is Hurricane Season, and I wrote some notes for it. They exactly say funky ass trumpet melody line with very appreciated trombone harmony. I can't tell if the bass line is a tuba or a bass guitar. I listened to this song many times, and it's kind of ambiguous with how low that the bass guitar slash tuba is, like to tell which instrument it is, but it's like a really nice bass line. And this is good for all your funky needs. I think this is a great opener to this jazz album. And if you're a big fan of, I would describe it as like a hip hop jazz fusion album, this is a great start to that. So I like Hurricane Season a lot, although there's more songs later in the album that I put on repeat a lot more. I would rate Hurricane Season as a song itself like a solid 8. On the Way Down is the next song. It has a very important message that I think about constantly. It basically opens with like, all the sun rises on the rich folk and the poor folk too. We're all on the same planet. You gotta treat like each other with respect, because the hook of the song is basically like, people you misuse on your way up, you might see on your way down. And so that resonates with me, because it's like, you might need somebody's help that you trashed on in the past, and since you trashed on them in the past, they won't help you anymore. So it's like, it's a song about respect, and I really appreciate the message. There's also a very nice flute intro. The piano is a great complement to the lyrics. It's a nice melody. I guess it's technically a harmony if the lyrics is the melody line, so it's a great accompaniment to that. And the occasional bari sax is great. The tenor sax I also like, but I'm a really big fan of bari sax. I think bari sax is life. I played trombone throughout high school and middle school, but I always wanted to learn bari sax, but I never was given an opportunity to. I just love the sound of a good bari sax. There's a guitar bridge that is nice and short. Personally, I don't really care for guitar or trumpet for that matter. I mostly enjoy listening to trombone and the bari sax, but the trumpet is fine. Luckily, the trumpet is used sparingly except for like hold notes. Maybe there's an alto sax too. I didn't really notice a lot of trombone in this song, or if there was, it was very quiet and not noticeable. So overall, I really like the message of the song, and I like the bari sax. Personally, I could use some more trombone and bari sax, but great message. I also gotta give this song an 8. Next we have Quiet as Kept. So my note says, is that a guitar with a filter opening or a trombone with a mute? So I've listened to this song a few times, and my opinion on like what the opening is, it's kind of changes, because I would either say it's like a guitar with like a twang to it, or like a trombone with like a straight mute in it. Definitely not a plunger mute. So they sound similar, and I say the guitar with like a little twang to it because like the way that the guitar sounds, if it sounds like it could also be produced by the trombone slide as well, because there's not like a lot of difference in the notes to say. It's kind of hard to describe. You just have to listen to it. It just sounds good anyway. I do like how it sounds. The trombone and trumpet sounds, the sound wall is very fun. And it sounds nice too. There's nice trombone notes. The baritone sax is life. There's a bridge, and I'm like, I love it. It's like bop 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 ba bop bop ba, you know, fun stuff like that. Very, very groovy. And this is a no lyrical track, so it's quite fun to just bop around to. Honestly, it's just a very nice, funky rhythm, and although I think it's one of the more funkier rhythms that I enjoy the most, just in general on this track, so I'd give this song a solid, like, 7.5. The next song is Something Beautiful. I wrote the notes, dumb love song. There are 3 love songs on this album, and I don't really like the love songs. When I first listened to this album, it was pretty much like an immediate skip once I heard the love songs, but it's kind of grown on me, but still like my least favorite songs on these albums, but I do have notes for them. The tenor or alto and baritone sax parts are very nice. It kind of produces a nice evening date vibe is what I would describe the song itself, like the vibe that the song itself gives to me. I also like the drum beat plus the guitar accompany with the voice. I like those like accents to like the song Never, never have I seen before. Ba-da-ba-da-bow, ba-da-ba-da-bow, you know, stuff like that. And then underneath that, it's like, you know, fun stuff like that. There's limited horns, but lots of lyrics about his girlfriend or something. This is really tragic for me to listen to. I'm definitely gonna cover Trombone Shorty albums in order because there is between like 4 albums actually. There's like this chronological thing going on where it's about his girlfriend. So in this album, he talks about like, oh, I met you and you're beautiful and blah, 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 and all this fun romantic stuff. And then like in the later albums about like, oh, I didn't mean to hurt you, I'm sorry, I want to go back together again. I'm so blessed to be with you. And then like the 2017 album, there was a song about how the chick broke up with him. So having 3 love songs about her just seems a little dated, and like, it just makes me think, oh man, the bad decisions to make these love songs. I mean, it's romantic and all. They work. They're good, but I just personally don't like love songs at all. So the guitar solo is pretty nice. I like the guitar solo. There's limited trombone though, which I don't really like that much. And just the overall contents of the song, I don't really like listening to the song that much. I would probably rate it like a 5. Next is Backatown, which is on my repeat list of songs. So there's a killer drum opening, and then there's a bass guitar plus electric keys opening, which is cool, and it's a nice little build-up before the trombone melody. Man, I really appreciate the trombone melodies that Trombone Shorty does, because I don't think I've heard a lot of jazz songs where there is a trombone melody lead. Like, there's a lot of trumpet melodies, there's a lot of maybe like flute, there's a lot of actually alto, maybe tenor sax, but never trombone because it's like a tenor instrument. It's not higher up in the range, so you're not going to hear it as easily, just like a human ear thing. But like, I really appreciate the trombone melody, makes it sound like cooler in my mind. There's a trombone harmony as well, alongside the trombone melody and a trombone solo, which is awesome. Very well done performance there. The baritone sax and the trombone is an underrated pair. Like, I don't really hear a lot of trombone baritone sax. I do know of this one duo. I think they added a trombone in late years, but like they started off as baritone sax and trumpets, and they were playing in the New York cities. It's Too Many Zoos. I'll also review them at some point later down the line. But like they had a really cool like groove, and it's like I want more of that, but if it was a trombone instead. So, but this provided my trombone and baritone sax combination need very well, and I really like the abrupt ending too. So it's like it's one and done. You know what's up in the song, now you know the song's gonna end, and bam, it's done. So I gotta give this song like a solid 8.8. Right to Complain is the next song with a very important message as well. So electric guitar opening with bass plus trombone is a great instrument setup that leads into this song about you gotta like change yourself. If you don't change yourself, you have no right to complain. And then after that line's like you know, really cool, groovy, very groovy, and great message, epic message. Like, I feel like I don't really hear this message a lot in songs that I listen to, except for like maybe this song. There might be some messages, but not like as explicit as this. Like, and these few words repeat throughout the song for like memory's sake. Like, it's like, you wake up in the morning, what do I see? I see my face in the mirror, what looking at me, telling me what you gonna do. Now you say you won't change, but if you don't change yourself, you have no right to complain. That's basically what the song is, and it's great. It's in my brain. I think of it all the time because of that. I change myself so I can complain. Thank you, Trombone Shorty, for those very pithy messages in the song. Also, practice what you preach, and don't live a sad life is also the messages that I got from this song. And there's a great trombone bridge with 2 trombone tracks, and I think a tenor sax, and a great build-up. And like, I'd say probably the last chorus after the bridge is like, it just goes hard. It's like, you know, like hard equivalent. Like there's a nice little added drums, which I appreciate heavily. And I remember the song, and I really like it and appreciate it. So I'd give this song a solid 8.8. The next one is Neff, very chill trumpet lead with cool drums and backing trombone. It's very fun to bop to. I don't really listen to this song a lot. It's not one of my favorites, but I do appreciate the good quality of the song. It's also eerie. Like, I also really impressed with the trumpet 16th notes for 8 measures, and the trombone end part is nice. Overall, it's not a very impressionable song in my mind, but I do like the tune to it. So I'd give this song like a solid 6. The next song is Suburbia. Starts with a cool electric guitar, drum build up to the most epic trombone and bari sax melody. It's really cool. I'm like, why do I not play this song as much as I do? And it's because there's a lot of guitar in it. I'm not the biggest fan of guitar, but like the bari and the trombone is a great combination with double tonguing. on the trombone. That's so hard to do. Like, you got like single tonguing, but then you got double tonguing. That's like, oh my goodness, holy dang, this is a skilled musician over here. There's an epic repeating melody. The adding of guitar, I think, is fine. There's a fine amount of guitar, but too much for my preference. And there's a note that says, but fuck the trumpet add-on though. I really don't like the trumpet add-on. I feel like it's a little bit too abrasive for me. Trombone and bari sax is fine. The trombone solos is where it's at in the song, and it's a really cool rock anthem song. So it's a cool rock anthem. Now I see why I don't really listen to it as much as the other songs, but I still really appreciate this song, so I gotta give this song like a 7. The next one is In the Sixth. I assume that the 6th refers to downtown New Orleans. I've never been to New Orleans, so I don't know if there's a 6th Street. There should be. It's a city. So the baritone sax opening with trombone is awesome. I really appreciate. The trumpet is fine. I still wish it was just trombone and bari sax, but that's just me. The drum beat drop is nice, which I appreciate. It adds like a nice little variety to the song, and it keeps building up the instruments before switching melodies. And then it's a bari sax, and it's underrated and understated in this song. Like, I feel like there could have been more emphasis on it, but I do appreciate how much there is right in that song. The fusion of all these instruments are awesome, and the build up to the end before it drops off is very nice. Like, there's a big old build up and then it drops off, like, kind of not as quickly as the abrupt ending in Backatown, but it's still like leading you down to like, oh, well, we're just settling this song down and then it's done. So it's I would say it's a pretty nice song. Honestly, it feels like it's like a march. It feels like I'm on New Orleans. I feel like this song is what I imagine New Orleans is like. It's a nice picture painted in my audio memories. So I gotta give this song like a 7. One Night Only, The March, is the next song, with a guitar opening with an annoying trumpet and tenor sax intro before vocals. I really don't like the melody in this song at all. And this is like my least listened to song in this album, and I've listened to this album like countless times from like 8th grade to now. So I'm gonna say 2015 to 2023. That's like 8 years. I've listened to this album a lot. So there's that, and this is the least listened song in that album for me. It's a love song. It's a love song. Oh man. This is the second out of the third love song, and I'm kind of already getting annoyed by how many love songs there are in this album. Oh man, love song about how he met a chick at a club, with the quote, he found the right one, was in this, and my reaction was, ew. Women, no, there are no right ones when it comes to women. The only right ones are other men. It's okay. And this song reminds me of a mix of Ween and Trombone Shorty. There's a little bit of Ween in this. I don't know if Trombone Shorty's ever heard of Ween, but there's definitely Ween inspiration, especially like a little bit of Tried and True and like some of the more like beach rocky songs of Ween. I do like the trombone solo. And the tenor and baritone sax backing is very nice. Very appreciated. I like a nice little full saxophone sound. And the trumpet is cool, I guess, but the song isn't really cool. Like, it's less than cool. It's not ultra cool. It's 20% less cool than the other songs. Not gonna lie. So I gotta give this song also a 5. The next song is Where Ya At? And it has a cool guitar opening with trombone and trumpet doing the melody, although upon multiple listens I hear a discordant note whenever the sax enters the chord. And I think this is intentional. This discordant note that I hear, it's very subtle, but I feel like it's supposed to add like tension to the song. The sax isn't there all the time when it's the trombone and the trumpets doing it, but the sax is consistently doing that discordant note, so it's definitely intentional. And I really like how it adds to the vibe of the song. It gives me like a sense of unease, right? And also the trombone solo in this is epic, and the saxophone backing track works very well for the trombone. Also, though, the trumpet does high notes, which I'm not a very big fan of. Like, when it comes to trumpets, I feel like trumpets that sound too high just sound like screeching to me, and I don't really appreciate that. But overall, this is a chill song. This is one of my less listened to songs on this album, but I do like it. I like the discordant note. I feel like it's definitely very intentional. So I gotta give this song like a 7. Fallen is the third and last love song. Gee, I wonder what it could be about. He's fallen in love. Deeper in your love. I'm falling. I'm falling. I'm falling. Ooh, I'm falling deeper in your love, you know, stuff like that. Although this is the best love song on the track, it reminds me of 2000 CeeLo Green beat, not gonna lie, it gave me those vibes. The electric piano holding the note like it's a church chorus is fitting. It's very nice. The song is mostly drums, guitar, and piano, and it's nice. There's not a lot of horns in this. It's kind of more of like a rhythm section piece, which is nice. Definitely nothing like it on the rest of the album, which is cool, but it's like the other love songs where I have this note, quote, I think I might fall down, and my note is, because you're falling in her love, oof, that bitch will leave ya. So, these love songs are not a great reflection of your decision-making process, Trombone Shorty, but it is a cool, groovy ballad, though, that fades out. So, that's nice. I like some songs that fade out, especially it's just like repeating over and over. I'm falling, I'm falling, I'm falling, I'm falling, and it fades out. That's nice. It's groovy. If I had to choose which love song I would listen to at all ever again, it would be this one. So I gotta give this song like a solid 6. The Cure is a song with cool guitar opening, not gonna lie. And there's some cool drums there too. Trombone lead melody is very welcoming, and I love when the sound gets all dirty like that. There's like a thing that Trombone Shorty's doing with like his embouchure that like makes it so like instead of the trombone sounding like bright, it's kind of sounds dirty, and I really like that sound. And there aren't a ton of complicated melody lines, but it's very jazzy in spirit, which is nice. Like I feel like the other songs would be like rock ballads or like funky, and this is jazzy, like just more swingy. Swingy is what I'm looking for. This is more like a swingy song. The trombone high note is impressive before the bari and sax enter the equation, and the tenor saxophone has a cool part in the song, and by the end it's just like a battle of the instruments. And I feel like the battle of the instruments part plus like the really high note from the trombone is like the spirit of like jazz, especially the battle of the instruments, because it's like I have to like try to listen to a specific instrument to get exactly what I'm trying to get out of that, out of anything really, is you have to pay attention to an instrument or else you're gonna be caught listening to a different instrument for the line. It's just like a bunch of clashing melodies, and I really like that style in this song, so I gotta give the song like a solid 7. And finally, oh my goodness, 1928 horn jam. I assume 1928 is the area code of New Orleans. But it has tenor and baritone song in a cool marching band-esque song. This is like a minute long. This is the ending of the album. And it's very groovy and great way to end the album. It sounds like all the instruments are competing for a melody line and then ends abruptly. So I feel like this song is an extension of the last part of the last song, like when they're all clashing each other, but this is just more of that, and it's like chaotic, and then it ends, and it's like, that's the end of the album. See you in like 4 years. Have a nice time. And I felt very satisfied with the ending. I feel like this is just a nice little dose of chaos, which I really like, and it encapsulates the album nicely. So I gotta give this song like a solid 6 out of 10. Overall, the album experience was varied, but it's a great jazz album. If you want to start with a jazz and you don't know how to get into jazz, but you do like hip hop or rock or something like that, then I would recommend this album because there is a lot of varied instruments, plus also like baritone sax, tenor sax, some alto sax, very limited flute, trumpet and trombone, and plus like a really good drum, piano, guitar, and bass. For like, that's just the instrument profiling for all this entire album, which is, it's nice and varied. So if you don't like one song, another song won't sound exactly like the same. So I feel like this album is pretty good. I enjoyed it. There are other Trombone Shorty albums that I'm a bigger fan of than this one, but I do feel like this is a great way to introduce you to who Trombone Shorty is. So I gotta give this like a solid 7.5 out of 10. If you like this video, watch another one. YouTube really likes that. This is also really fun. I'm doing more of these. They're doing it every week. Every week. Jazz. I listen to so much jazz that I have so many jazz songs and albums to do. So keep on the lookout for that. I also do a daily movie review show called Mint Salad Saw over on the youtube.com/ASEPresents channel if you're interested in that. So you can go check that out. I do a movie review or a music album review at patreon.com/ASEPresents. For the movie review, it's $20 per review, and also the same for the album as well. So you can do that at patreon.com/ASEPresents. And if you'd like to help support the daily grindiness of all these daily movie reviews and the weekly music reviews, you can go to my link tree to find the way that you can help support the daily grindiness of all these reviews. So you can go here, and until next time on What You Reviewing, I'll see you later, my sour croutons, bacon bits.